Hello and welcome to 8.2 volumes of cones. So today we're focusing on the volume of cones, but really I'm going to start recapping all that this unit has been so far. This unit is really about finding the volumes of 3 different shapes. And I've had a couple comments that some of you are a little bit confused with this unit. And hopefully today after my notes, you will not be. This unit's really about 3 different shapes that we're finding the volume of. So it's really just what is the formula for the volume for each shape. But really what I've been trying to do is I want you guys to understand why. Where did these formulas come from? So as a reminder, we started off with the circle. And again, I would like you copying down all these notes exactly how I'm doing it. So if I have a circle and I'm looking for the area of a circle, the area of a circle, my area equals pi r squared, where from the center of my circle out to any point is going to be my radius. So I multiply my radius by itself times pi. That gives me the area of a circle. Okay, so awesome. And hopefully you guys saw that demonstration of, yes, the rectangle, that's base times height. So you know where this formula comes from. And then we thought about, well, what if I have a circle and I have 2 circles as my bases? Well, basically this has now created a cylinder. This is what we call a cylinder. And can I find the area of a cylinder? No, because a cylinder is an actual 3D shape, so I can only find the volume. The volume. So if I wanted to know what is the volume of a cylinder, well, basically I know that I have a circle base, and I know if this is the circle, this is the circle base, and the area of a circle is pi r squared. Well, I showed you with my pennies, and there was a couple of examples. This is really just taking this circle. I want to multiply it by the area of my circle. So really it's your base, which is my circle, times the height of my cylinder, times the height of my cylinder. So a cylinder is your base times your height, or what we figured out was I could say my base is equal to pi r squared. So the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared times h. So you were given, well, here's my h, what's my r? Then I can plug it all in and find my volume. So I have so far the area of a circle, the volume of a cylinder, and now we get introduced into what the cone is. Now, a cone is a shape that is going to have a circular base, which all points from there then meet at one point at the top and connects like this. So it has a circular base, and then it all goes up like that. However, watch what happens. So here is a cone, and if I have, here's my circular base, and here, let's say that's the top. Well, what would happen if we tried to do, okay, here's my circle, so pi r squared, and here would be how tall. So here's my height, there's my radius, and I say, okay, my circle times my height. Well, what would happen is then that's going to give me what's actually a cylinder. Oh, I'm a great drawer. So what I want you to see right now, every single cone could technically be making its own cylinder. And the cool thing about cones, which I have a video that you're going to watch, demonstration to explain this, but every cone is actually 1/3 of a cylinder. So right now, this cone right here is 1/3 of its cylinder. So there's technically, and I know this is going to look weird, just bear with me, there's technically 3 other cones right now inside of this cylinder. So, okay, if I wanted to find the area, the volume of my cylinder, well, I know the volume of my cylinder, the volume of a cylinder would be my base times my height. So that would give me base times my height, pi r squared times h would give me the volume of this entire thing. But I'm just looking for the cone. I just want to find what is just the volume of the cone. Well, to find the volume of the cone, since there's 3 equal cones inside, I just want to take 1/3. I just want to know, well, what is 1/3 of that cylinder? So this is your formula for the volume of a cone, is your volume will equal 1/3 times base, which is pi r squared, because that's your circle, times your height. So there's your formula. So now it's all about using this formula when I have a cone to plug in. So one more time, your volume is going to equal 1/3 of your base times your height, whereas a cylinder was just base times height. Or I can write this as my volume is 1/3 of pi r squared is my base, my circle, times my height. Now another way you might see this written, instead of saying 1/3, I could technically say pi r squared times h, and I can say divided by 3. These are the same formula. So whichever one works better for you. Some people, what you essentially are doing is multiplying something by 1/3 is the same thing as dividing it by 3. So a cone is a shape like this. I want to identify, there would be the radius of my circle, and then my height is from that center bottom circle all the way to the top. And it creates sort of that right angle right there. All right, so let's do some examples together. This is sort of similar to the examples in your Khan Academy. All right, so here's some examples. So first, it will ask you to find the volume. So let's just draw, you can draw the 2 lines of a triangle and then connect it with a semicircle and then finish it. Kind of looks like a lemon. Just do your best with drawing it. So this has a radius of 4 meters and then a height of 6 meters. So if I wanted to find the volume, again, these are just some examples. If I wanted to find the volume, I can say, well, the formula for the volume of a cone, my formula equals either one of these. I'm going to use this one and say pi r squared times h divided by 3. So now I plug in what I know. Pi times, well, my r is 4 squared, times my h is 6, all divided by 3. So then you can use a calculator, and you can leave it in terms of pi and also solve it all the way. And so 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 6 is 96. And then I can say this is 96, so that's equal to 96 times pi over 3. And then I can leave this as, well, 96 divided by 3 is 32. This would then end up equaling 32 pi. So I could say that that's my answer. Or what I could do is then calculate 32 times 3.14 is. So I could say that my volume is about 100.48 meters cubed. So that would be my answer. So that is my volume. Other option is, so instead of finding the volume, they might ask you to find the height. And so here's my cone. And this time it gives you the volume of this cone is 956 feet cubed. And it gives you, here's my radius. My radius is 9, but I do not know the height. I do not know the height. So all you have to do is say, well, my volume, I want to find the height. So I know that the volume is equal to pi times r squared times h over 3, or times 1/3. Well, this time I can plug in, I know what my volume is, so that's 956, which will be equal to pi times r is 9 times h. Well, I don't know h, so I'll leave it at that, and I'll say that this is all divided by 3. So now I can really just start simplifying from here. You all might solve this, oh, this is squared, differently. So I know that this side over here, 9 times 9 is 81, so I have 81 pi times h over 3. Well, I can say 81 divided by 3 is 27, so this really is 27 pi times h. So now I have 956 equals 27 pi times h. I want to get h alone. It's being multiplied by a 27 pi, so I'll divide by a 27 pi, divide by a 27 pi. This will cancel out. And I'm left with h equals 956 divided by 27 pi. Or I can say 956 divided by 27 is, it's about 35.4. So since I did divided by 27, I can also divide this again by 3.14. So that gives me about 11.27, which I can round and say that my height is, I'll say 11.3. In this case, it's feet cubed. So hopefully that cleared a little bit up for you guys. You have some practice problems that are just like this, so follow these notes and you should be fine. Let me know if you have any questions.